This is one of the most unique pieces of technology in all of sports, but not for the reason you might think. See, even though horse racing dates back to 700 BCE, it wasn't until 1928 that one of the first starting gates was actually invented. Created by Charles M. Waite, the earliest version of the electric starting gate featured 14 stalls that were the height of a horse's shoulder and utilized a metal bar across the front of the stall that would fall away from the horse when the starter pressed the button. This early contraption was meant to replace the old spring-loaded wires that had been used at the Kentucky Derby for decades, and the initial tests of Waite's gates were so successful in stopping false starts at other tracks that Churchill Downs decided to use it for the 1930 Kentucky Derby. However, the following year, Churchill Downs switched starting gates again, this time to the bar design, which looks familiar to what racing fans might recognize today. However, this design reverted back to the more simplistic spring-loaded wire to start the race. The bar gate was also only 14 stalls long, which meant that overflow horses had to stand on the outside, and it didn't include a belt, resulting in the starter having to yell "haw" during its first use in 1931. However, the use of this gate didn't last long either, because by 1941, Churchill Downs had begun using an electric starting gate designed by a man named Clay Puett. This gate, which has become the standard for racing across the world for the last 80 years, is similar to the bar gate, but includes the addition of front and rear doors that are held closed by electrified magnets. This means that with the simple push of a button, the electric current is cut, the magnets are deactivated, and the spring-loaded doors swing open to release the horses. Traditionally, Puett gates were also only 14 stalls long, with auxiliary gates being added as the field of horses at the Kentucky Derby grew. However, in order to avoid what had become a problematic gap in the gate, Churchill Downs commissioned a special 20-horse gate be made specifically for their racetrack, making this starting gate a true one of a kind.